8 minutes ago, something happened in the House Judiciary Committee that brought that look of utter surprise to Cash Patel's face. Jim Jordan, yes, that Jim Jordan took the microphone and asked a question. Not just any question, a question that made Patel's eyes widen. His lawyers look at each other in panic, and everyone in the room freeze. And within that question lay the key to the entire Epstein investigation. If you're new to this video, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because what you're about to see in the next few minutes isn't political theater. This is the moment a Republican president corners his own man, the moment the FBI director crumbles before his own ally. House Judiciary Committee, February 6, 2026, 9:34 a.m. The room is tense, as usual. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. Cash Patel is on the witness stand, flanked by 4 lawyers, a glass of water in front of him. He taps that glass 5 times. 5 times, a sign of nerves. The first hour passed routinely. Democrats asked Patel tough questions. The Epstein files, classified reports, cover-up allegations. Patel gave prepared answers to each. National security, classification protocols, ongoing investigation, standard evasions. Nothing new. Republicans, meanwhile, are trying to defend Patel. Predictable. Matt Gaetz is showering praise. Marjorie Taylor Greene is presenting the FBI as the guardian of democracy. Everyone knows the script. Everyone is playing their part. Then it was Jim Jordan's turn, and the room instantly changed, because Jordan was Patel's ally, Republican right-wing, one of the FBI's staunchest defenders, one of Trump's most loyal supporters, from within the forces that put Patel in this position. So this should have been an easy question, a softball, maybe some praise, maybe a little show, but it wasn't. When Jordan opened the microphone, his tone was different. It wasn't the aggressive, loud Jim Jordan we were used to. This was quieter, more controlled, and more dangerous. "Director Patel," he said. The room fell silent. "I want to have a simple conversation with you. Just you and me. Republicans and Democrats aside. Just the facts." Patel leaned forward slightly. He couldn't take his eyes off Jordan. His lawyers also perked up. "Last week," Jordan continued, "I received a special briefing. Confidential, only committee chairs. At that briefing, I found something related to the Epstein files, a document, and that document had your signature on it." Patel's face didn't change, but his eyes widened for a moment. He tried to hide the expression on his face, but he couldn't escape the cameras. Jordan opened a file. Red cover, stamped, confidential. "This document," he said, "is dated January 28, 2026. It was sent from your office to a senior FBI official. Subject, Epstein witness files. Final revision." He paused. He waited for the weight of each word to sink in. There's a list in that document. Names that appear in 47 witness statements, and next to each name is a note. Contacted, informed, warned. Patel's right hand went to the glass. He didn't hold it. He just touched it. His fingers trembled slightly. "Director Patel," Jordan's voice was firmer now. "Did the FBI warn the people named in the witness statements?" Silence. Heavy, intense silence. Before they gave their statements, or after? More silence. "And who ordered this?" Patel finally spoke, his voice controlled but tense. "Congressman, some of these questions touch on ongoing investigative procedures. There is no ongoing investigation." Jordan's voice cut through the air. "You closed it in January 2026. Without our committee's knowledge, without the Senate's knowledge, you hid it from everyone." The Democrats in the room were stunned, because this was an accusation coming from a Republican leader. Jordan continued. "And now you're telling me you can't discuss the ongoing investigation. Which investigation? Director? The one you killed?" Patel's lawyer, that gray-haired, experienced man, tried to stand. "Mr. Chairman, these questions." "Sit down." Jordan's command was firm. "I'm the chairman. I ask the questions. He answers them." The lawyer sat down. Patel was left alone. Jordan pulled a page from the file. He showed it to the cameras. "This is an FBI internal email. February 3rd, 2026. From your office to the Miami field office. Subject, Epstein witnesses, contact protocol." I read, "Representatives of the following high-profile individuals will be contacted. They will be notified of upcoming witness testimony releases. Preparation time will be granted." He looked up. Preparation time. The FBI warned people connected to Epstein before witness testimony was released, so they could prepare their lawyers, organize their stories, develop public relations strategies. Patel's jaw tightened. "Congressman, this is purely procedural." "Procedural." Jordan's voice rose. "Is it the FBI's job to tip off criminals? Hey, your name's in a child trafficking witness testimony. Get yourself a PR team." The room erupted. Democrats began applauding. Republicans were in shock. The cameras didn't know what to do. And if you're still watching, if this matters to you, hit the like button now. You need to support this kind of accountability. When even Jim Jordan questions the truth, we need to watch. Jordan wasn't done. Director, I'm going to ask you a very simple question, and I want a simple answer. How many of those 47 people received a warning from the FBI before the witness statements were made public? Patel took a deep breath. He looked at his lawyer. The lawyer nodded slightly. Yes, you have to answer. Congressman, as standard procedure dictates, in high-profile cases, how many? Jordan was impatient. The number. How many? Patel's voice was almost a whisper. 32. The room exploded. Literally exploded. 32 of the 47 names were warned in advance. Jordan nodded, as if he knew this. As if he expected confirmation. 32 people. Before witness statements were made public, they had time to prepare their lawyers, develop media strategies, craft their denial stories, healing toward Patel. And what I want to know is this. Why is the FBI giving special treatment to people accused of child trafficking? It's not special treatment. Special treatment. Jordan's voice echoed. Ordinary citizens get notified of an FBI raid. Their doors are broken down. Their hands are cuffed. But these 32 people, they're gently informed. Excuse me, Mr. Billionaire. A witness mentioned your name. Would you like to prepare? Patel's face flushed. Congressman, these are public figures. Protecting them from false accusations. False accusations. Jordan pulled out another document. Witness statement, 2847, Autored, Maria Santos. Kidnapped at age 19, she named 6 people in her statement. She gives dates. She gives details. The FBI found her statement credible in their own investigation, and you warned those 6 people. He paused. Which part is the false accusation, Director? The witness statement the FBI found credible. Patel had no answer. He just sat there, hands on the table, not moving. Jordan continued, his voice calmer this time, more dangerous. Do you know why those warnings came out? Because those 32 people made phone calls. They called the White House, they called senators, and then someone called you, and you protected them. Patel's eyes widened again, more noticeably this time. Yes, Jordan said. I saw the phone records. White House Chief Counsel's Office, February 2nd, 2026, 14-minute call. The next day, you signed that directive. The directive warning those 32 people. Patel's lawyer jumped to his feet. Mr. President, this falls under executive privilege. Executive privilege doesn't cover up a crime. Jordan's voice boomed. And if the White House called the FBI director, if they told him to warn the witnesses, if he did it, that's obstruction of justice. The room descended into complete chaos. The Democrats were on their feet. The Republicans were in shock. The reporters were frantically writing, and Patel just sat there, eyes wide, face pale. Jordan closed the file. Director Patel, one last question for you, and think very carefully, because this is on the record. It's being recorded, and if you lie, it's perjury. He paused. Everyone waited. Did any of those 32 people give you money, a family member, or a close associate? Campaign contributions, consulting fees, speaking fees, anything. Silence. 15 seconds of silence. In a congressional hearing, 15 seconds is an eternity. Patel's lawyer whispers. Patel shakes his head. The lawyer whispers again, more urgently. Patel's hand goes to the glass. This time he takes it. He drinks. He puts the glass back. Congressman, the voice cracks. I personally did not receive any direct payments. Not personally. Jordan jumped in. Not directly. What about indirectly? Through a consulting firm? Through a family trust? Through your wife's consulting firm? Patel's face was like a mask. But his eyes said everything. Jordan shook his head. Our committee will examine the financial records. It will examine the bank accounts. And if any of those 32 people paid you, your family, or your associates, and you protected them, that's not just obstruction of justice. That's bribery. Patel's voice was barely audible. Mr. Chairman, I have always acted in accordance with the law. Then hand over the records. Jordan's words were sharp. Bank statements, tax returns, consulting contracts, your wife's company's client list, everything this week. Patel's lawyer, Mr. President, this request is excessive. Excessive. Jordan turned to the lawyer. The FBI director warned 32 criminals. The calls came from the White House, and now we want to see the financial records. How is that excessive? Jordan turned back to Patel, and this time there was trembling and sadness in his voice. Director Patel, I supported you. I fought for your appointment. I trusted you. They said you would be transparent. They said you would bring out the truth. And now you sit here, unable to explain to me how you protected those 32 people. He paused. If you're part of the system too, if you're protecting them too, then we can't trust you or the FBI. And with those words, Jim Jordan turned off the microphone. He gathered his papers and leaned back. Patel sat there, utterly destroyed, torn apart by his own ally, cornered by questions he couldn't answer, and his eyes, those wide, shocked eyes, said it all. He was guilty, and everyone knew it. The hearing continued for another 10 minutes, but no one was listening. A single moment had changed everything. Jim Jordan's question, Patel's eyes, those 32 names, the White House phone call, the financial records, and now the story exploded. CNN, Jordan Patel questioned over bribery allegations. Fox News, Jordan FBI warned about Epstein connections. MSNBC, Republican leader ousted his own FBI director. Social media went wild. Hashtag Jordan32 trended worldwide. Video clips got millions of views. That moment, the moment Patel's eyes widened, was everywhere. And if this matters to you, if you believe accountability matters, share this video. Send it to your friends. Spread it on social media. Because this isn't just about Patel. It's about showing that no one is above the law. But the real question starts now. Who are those 32 people? Which names received special treatment? And more importantly, how many of them paid? Jordan requested the financial records. Patel's, his wife's, his partner's. And if there's a connection there, if money changed hands, this will be one of the biggest bribery scandals in history. Think about that for a moment. The FBI director, the most powerful law enforcement agency, protecting child traffickers. Why? Maybe for money, maybe for power, maybe because he was threatened. But what Jordan did, asking someone from his own party for the truth, was rare. It was brave, and it was very dangerous, because now Jim Jordan is also a target. From the White House, from those 32 people, from the powers protecting them. And his financial records will be scrutinized. His life will be turned upside down, but he's still asked, because some truths are more important than politics. Patel's career is over. Everyone knows that. But the real question is, who will he take down with him? Those 32 names, White House officials, financial connections, the whole cover-up. Jordan requested the files. We'll have them soon, and I'll examine every single one, every payment, every bank transfer, every connection. Tomorrow, the first batch of those documents will be released. There will be a leak from Jordan's office, and I'll be here tearing through every page, explaining every detail. This wasn't just a moment in a hearing. This was the moment the whole system began to crack. And Jim Jordan, yes, that Jim Jordan swinged the hammer. Patel's eyes widened because the truth finally caught up with him. There's nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide, and the questions will only get harder. 8 minutes. One question, and Cash Patel's world came crashing down. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Tomorrow, the financial records, who paid, who was protected, and why. This isn't over. This is just beginning.